Hey everybody, how you doing? You can answer that even though this is a recording because I really want to know. Today I want to talk about a couple things. Hey Popo, come here. Firstly, I am sitting in my chair and it's funny, up until very recently, I did almost everything in my bed. Or I should say, let me correct that. The very few things I do each day, primarily I did them in bed. You know, read in bed, watch TV in bed, eat in bed. Sometimes I smoke in bed. There, I said it. Don't give me any shit. Um, there are things I don't do in my bed that other people I hear use their bed for. But I often hear people talk about like their chair, like a specific chair that is their chair.
Get out of my chair.
I'm tired because I was baking today and I have really big exciting news about my baking, but I'm not telling you. You'll just have to come back. Anyway, chairs, right? So my friend Carol has her chair, and when I call and say, "How are you?" she'll say, "Great, I'm in my chair." Well, the people who I bought this house from, I bought a lot of furniture from, and this stuff was kind of just left behind. I mean, this wasn't like part of the big purchase, fancy stuff. And in fact, I tried to give it away. And that was not successful. I didn't try that hard. So then I got this idea and I brought this chair, which weighs about like 5 ounces. It's so lightweight. It's like a movie prop. And I've got a footrest, an ottoman. And I brought it in here and it has freaking changed my life. First of all, for reasons I can't put my finger on, this little tiny room, maybe I'll show you the whole thing like when I'm done talking here. It reminds me of my Murphy mama. That's my mom's mom. May she rest in peace. I think she'd be 110 if she were alive today. That woman was my hero. And I accidentally turned this room into a room that makes me think of her. So it's like in the mansion, it's my favorite room. And then when I got the chair in here, oh my gosh, now I get it. Now I get why when people get old, they have their chair. This is my chair and I love it. I read in it and I sit in it. I meditate in it. The dogs snuggle me in it. I love having a chair. So when I think about that, it makes me think of other childhood, like expressions I heard in childhood. Some comedian has this great bit about like the good scissors. Like, did y'all have the good scissors? You can't, don't use the good scissors on your toenails or whatever. And then also in my house, it was like the teeth, right? My dad took his teeth out all the time and just left them sitting somewhere. So that was just very common was go get me my teeth. Oh, and another common thing growing up, all of our clocks were set 20 minutes ahead. Now, as a child, all that taught me to do was just subtract 20 whenever I was looking at one of those clocks. It was like I was bi-clock lingual. I could know when I was out and about that those clocks were set to regular time and the house clocks were 20 minutes fast. I think the idea was so we wouldn't be late. And then I realized years later when I was an alcoholic, starting at 14, I was bred for this because it's bar time. I was raised on bar time. So there's just these things I'm trying to connect it to, like little quirky things that are a part of our lives forever that you don't really think about until you hear somebody else use an expression like my chair or the good scissors. The other thing, this is actually the real reason I came here today. Look, see that? Now, I got one of my goofy Pollyanna metaphors for you. I'm not sure if it was 3 weeks or a month ago. It was some time ago. I was out at my garage and the garage door opener is all fucked up. And I've just been, let's just say I did something that I shouldn't have. And when I was trying to shut the garage door just like this, I bent my finger and it got caught in the panels And in a period of what was probably 10 seconds, but felt like 10 years, I'm screaming my fucking head off, like screaming my head off for help. Fortunately, there were a lot of people around. They got me disconnected from the garage door. I was in so much pain. And when I finally got up the courage to look at my finger, it's amazing I didn't lose my finger. It was, it was flat, like flat. And now it's not flat, but I lost the fingernail and I didn't have to go to the hospital. That was great. And I am only now I'm starting to have a little bit of sensation in the top. So I had some pretty serious nerve damage. And I wanted to say that the medical term, I think what they did was when they realized how magical nerves are and how they can heal, they're like, we have to pick the most magical word to describe this. And so it's called knitting. Your nerve endings knit together. So even when I'm not knitting, I'm knitting right inside this finger here. So my metaphor is like, I know I keep talking about this divisiveness in the world, but it's so stressful, and COVID's so stressful. It's all crazy. And I'm just here to share some of my I don't know, my grounding stuff. I'm back to feeling pretty good and safe and grounded. Things are getting a little better for me out here in Smithville. And I'm back to feeling happy most days. Like by happy, I mean just calm. And it feels to me like the whole world is the finger that got stuck in the garage door. And it just like the flat earthers will be so glad. I mean, what's going on in the world today has just squished us. It's just squished us. And I feel like it's caused a lot of swelling of emotions and anger and divisiveness. And wait, I was going to make this metaphor just go on and on. We can't feel as much. Like there's a numbness, right? From just being smashed by lockdown and elections and Afghanistan and just everything. Like I like to say, no matter which side you're on, it's stressful for everybody. The good news is, if my metaphor holds, we are going to have some healing. We are. Look, we're just going to have to say fuck it to a lot of stuff, and the healing has to take place at its own pace. I wish I hadn't smashed my finger in the first place. I certainly wish that I could feel with it like more quickly than a month. And the other thing is, now when I touch it, it's like a brand new baby's foot. It's like so new and so tender and so raw. And that's as far as I'm extending the metaphor. But as we're healing, as I think we can heal from all this shit, as we begin to feel again, it's going to be very, very tender. It's going to be really tender. And, I could accept my injury and come up with workarounds, or I could just, whine and cry about it. Guess what? You don't have to pick one or the other. I whined a little, I cried a lot, and then I started working on the healing. I feel like there's a lot of self-help stuff out there, and I think from my own experience, I'll get so dedicated to it. I'm like, I'm going to do every single thing. I'm going to do it right. And that kind of defeats self-help for me, because I need to learn more to just let go and be still. And guess what? That this slowed me down a lot. It slowed me down for a couple days. So that's what I got for you. Do you have any protracted metaphors for me? How are you holding up now? Gosh, we are moving toward year 3. I'm not saying that to be grim. I'm just saying it like, wow. Okay, hey, we're going to end with me on a happy note, because I want to show you the rest of this little tiny room that I love. and the painting that I'm currently working on. So let me just grab the camera here. Chad's still teaching me. And, okay, there, I'm gonna turn it around. Look at this. I'm gonna move this. I just got this freaking awesome easel. Look at that, at like a fire sale. So this is the room that makes me think of my mama. Super tiny. My big fork, my crown's very important, and my big spoon. Oop, take it easy, y'all. Bye.
Hey y'all, thanks a lot for tuning in. I hope you'll like and subscribe to my channel. And if you like this episode, I hope that you'll copy this link, share it with a friend, paint it on a wall, put it on your social media. That'd be great. Thanks a million. Take it easy.